All right, guys, back with another video here to focus on some of the enhancements that have been added into the latest version of the Footprint Auto Trader. Now, for those of you that have seen it or trialed it here, this is the standard layout that you would be familiar with. Now, I have this on a 10 range MES chart here. I've got RTH session only. I'm recording this. The markets are closed, but the overnight session has already started. But I want an RTH here so we're not distracted by the price action over on the right side. So this is Tuesday, the 22nd of October here. Pretty good. Pretty good price action here, certainly in the power hour, the last hour of the day. So let's just go over this here real quick here. Now, the focus is not necessarily creating a magic button here or something that you're going to use tomorrow. The idea is just to show you what's available to you. So again, if you've seen this, trialed it, own it, this will all look very familiar to you. And these are all recognized, established order flow events that would be familiar to anyone who's worked with a footprint chart before. So a delta flip, thin prints, divergence, volume sequencing. Now, if some of those, right, if you've spent some time with the footprint chart, but some of that you're unclear of, just a reminder, right, we've got our website where all of these are detailed here, so you can see what are these things? What is a delta trap? What is, and you might have heard the phrasing, but perhaps we're defining it slightly differently than you might have read about it here. So it's important. So a delta slingshot, that's important that you understand exactly what that is. Right? So what we're giving you the capability of, because of course these are all built in already here on standard. Right? So a delta trap or a slingshot, that's already built in. But what we're giving you now with these new features here is the ability to go beyond just that. Now, of course, as it is, you can combine these. It can be all signals, one or more, two or more. You've got all that capability here. Where the new features come in is when we go over to custom. Now you've got 16 new buttons here that you can use in the same way that you're using the standard buttons here. Now, but the difference being you're defining them. And we're giving you a little more capability beyond just the order flow event. So these can be combined with some price action events that might make it all the more desirable based on what you're looking for. So let's see. I've got this paused on both sides here. We'll get rid of that bar up here. Just quick reference here for anyone who's using this. Again, and I've been using this for a long time. It's important that you don't just walk away from it. You don't want to turn this on to continuous long and short and just let it run. That you're not likely to have a positive result there. It's important to be clear-minded. Well, first understand, be very clear about if you leave it in continuous, what that's going to mean for you. But then my suggestion is to use it strategically. So if you're coming into an area of interest, someplace where you might be anticipating a bounce, don't leave it long and short enabled. It's just a friendly suggestion, right? If you're trying to identify a pivot, maybe for some reason, this is a golden zone or a fifth, whatever the case may be, that you're looking for a pivot down here. Okay, well, do you want to leave it short, right? If you're reading the market and your view is, something like this, right? So I'm seeing I've got some sort of a traditional measured move going on here. All right, and I'm anticipating a bounce. Could be, God knows whatever the reason is here. But my point being, be strategic with when you have long and short enabled. Just a friendly suggestion. All right, back to my point. So if you come down here, and many of you may not have noticed this here, this little standard and custom. When we come back over here, okay, what's going on here? Now, I've already created one custom button here just for demonstration purposes here. So let's go ahead and look at this. Now, when I click that, I'm going to get a new user interface. Those of you that have had a look at Algo Studio Pro will recognize this user interface. Let me get rid of this little arrow off of this. Okay, let's bring you back here. So this user interface will look very familiar, right? It's the same thing. So you'll note here I've given it a name and I called it Delta Max. So let's go ahead and create a button here. So the first thing we're going to do is we're going to create a condition. So when I click condition, just like with Algo Studio Pro, it wouldn't matter. Every time I click condition, you're going to get a default. Now of course, you don't have to use that, right? When you click on it, now you have the capability to change it, just for clarification. Okay, so let's create one. I've got a delta max here. So let's start with, just to demonstrate it, let's start with a price action. So let's say we're looking for a 5-bar swing low, right? The idea is we want at least 5 bars here before we get a pivot, and we're looking for a rally back off of that. Okay, so I'm going to say, all right, first thing I want is I want this to be a 5-bar swing low. Right? I can do same thing for, let's do swing high, all right, for a short. So I've already got those conditions built into my new custom button. Okay, let's add another condition. Now here, I should probably just make a point here. I'm assuming you know this here. I should back up a little bit. Let's see if you haven't seen this before in Algo Studio Pro. The first thing we have an A and a B here. So first thing, we have 10 bars that we can work with here, current up to 10 bars ago. And then here we can get the same thing on this side. So for example, if I want to do something crazy, I could say, okay, well, 2 bars ago, I want this event to have happened relative to the current bar. So you have that capability to work multi-bar. It doesn't have to be bar to bar. You've got that flexibility here up to 10 bars. Right? Most people don't recognize that at first. They think, oh well, it's always this bar and the next bar, or this bar and what's happening in this bar. You've got a lot of flexibility here with regards to price action or movement of the price action here, or the candles, as the case may be, footprint candles, within this 10-bar range. Right? So you can get very creative with what you're doing here. But let's go back here and let's go to an order flow event. So the first thing we know is that we're looking for we'll just focus on the buy side. It's a 5-bar swing low, and then what we're looking for, it has bullish. Here, let's just use the default bullish absorption. Well, that would make sense, right? If we're coming down here, I'd like to see some absorption. Okay, that's a good That's a good feature in this button. Now, you're going to have to call it something. You're going to have to remember what these are. So delta max, maybe I would change that to with ABS, right? With ABS. Now let's go ahead and save it, right? So when I finish this here, that name will change. Okay, so just so you don't go, oh God, what was that button again? Use your names, select your names carefully. Okay, so why not, right? Bullish absorption seems like a decent idea. Now you got to do the same thing down here. So if I'm going to go here, I'm going to go order flow, and I'm going to go bearish. I want bearish. Oh shit! There, bearish absorption equals true. Equals true. Right. So you've got to say, if I have, is bearish absorption true? Yes. Okay. Right. Well, then the event would register. Okay. Let's add another one. Okay, so let's go to here. Let's go back into order flow, and let's go with oh, you got a lot of choices in here. Let's do a delta reversal. Why not, right? We're looking for something to kind of go from an extreme low to an extreme high. Just a reminder here, these color codings are very important, right? That's what draws your eye. You can see as it's coming down here, we're very, very red, very, very negative delta, and then all 3 in a row, boom. Right, I've got absorption here. I've got fair value gapping here. I've got stacked imbalances here. I've got absorbing. I've got all sorts of technical events here, and I've got an exhaustion print at the low. So up we go, right? Nice little move off of that here, just to remind you, right? Those color codings are critical. That's where my eye is when I'm looking at these. I want to see what's coming. Here's another good example. Okay, back here, I get distracted. Okay, so back here, so has a delta reversal. The current bars is true or false, right? So we want that to be true for both of these, long or short. So already I have a button here that's slightly different than anything was available over in the standard. Okay, well let's add something else. Let's add another one. Okay, well, again, here you can go crazy, but let's go into order flow, and let's go. Let's see here. Let's go. Has a bullish POC, right? Let's just look down here. Well, there's the POC for this candle. That's not bullish, right? So, but this would be the first. This is the trigger candle here that would have us long here. Remember, it enters at the close of the bar, which is why it's particularly well suited to range bars. Okay, so here's a bullish POC. I'm at the top of the bar, right? Okay, so let's say has that, and then for down here, now you're going to have to duplicate that down here. Order flow has bearish POC. Let's see if I can find it now. Okay, found it. So we have a bearish POC equals true. Oh, equals true, equals true. Right, so now I've created a button here with max absorption, and I might even change that and add POC. Okay, so I've got delta. Oh, sure. Let's just do. Let's go back here. We'll make a new one. So I'm going to do 5 bar abs POC. So it's going to be a 5 bar swing low with absorption and a bullish or a bearish POC. Okay, now I'm going to save that. Now I've called it delta max here. This just so you see the idea here. If I go into my folder files, right, I would need to rename that here. But since I've kind of changed this on the fly here, I would rename this. So let's just go ahead and do it. And I'm going to go footprint auto here, and let's call it 5 bar ABS POC. Okay, right? So I'm going to call it that, and I'm going to save that. Okay, so now we have here a match between what I'm going to call it over here and how I've saved it in my documents. All right, so now I've got that. Now let's just double check here that I've got everything I want. Delta, right, equals true, true. Has bullish absorption 2 bars ago. I got to change that here. Let's make this previous bar. True, let's make this previous bar. Order flow has bearish absorption equals true. Okay, right, so you want to just double check, right? Double check that you've got everything exactly the way you want it here, so you don't have any surprises. Okay, and then again, we're going to save that. And now I'm going to close that. So now I've got 5 bar APS POC. See how that works? Okay, all right, so this is ideally suited to advanced users, right? Who, I mean, for many of you, this is a lot to work with. So when we're going here, it's just giving you a bit more than just the 2 or 3 bar technical event or order flow event, because we're giving you the capability. Let's go ahead and let's just go back to this one. We're giving you the capability. Let's add a new condition just to kind of demonstrate here. You've got time, order flow, swing highs and lows, and bar direction. Right? It could be, okay, do I want a red bar, green bar? Hammer, inverted hammer, inside bar, engulfing bar, right? That might be one you'd be looking for. I'd be looking for an engulfing bar. Now, an engulfing bar is not going to be appropriate necessarily for a range chart, right? So that may not make sense there. But just to show you that you have that capability, right? So let's just make it let's make it a green bar. Current bar is green. All right, down here I want bar direction to be red. Or, I mean, you could flip that, right? You say, I want it going down. I'm looking for it to turn around. So, and it could be you're doing a combination where I would want the previous bar to be green, and I would want, 2 bars ago to be red, right? So you've got all that. There's almost no limit to what you can do with this, right? It's just a matter of your own creativity, and then studying the chart, and then saying, okay, what is happening here that would have me want to turn on an auto trader so that all these things are happening. I don't have to do it in my mind's eye, thinking through, do I have this? Do I have this? Do I have this? Do I have this? Oh yeah, okay, I can take the trade. Well, you could be 5 bars away from you by the time you're doing that. So that's the advantage of this, right? It's just doing all of that calculation for you, but you've set it up ahead of time. So when you turn that on, and again, long or short, right? It may be, right? So remember that because you've created this for both sides, if I turn short off, it's none of the, let's get you back on. None of the short events are going to be available, right? Because we're only looking for the long. Even though we created long and short, only the long is going to be active. All right, well, so this is the kind of thing that really you want to experiment with, because it's going to take you a little bit of time to really recognize how much value is here and how much customization is here. Again, it says has a second slot sell imbalance or a second slot buy imbalance. Now maybe you buy imbalances, you want to do a different button down here that's focused on imbalances. Could be a stacked imbalance, could be volume sequencing, could be bearish absorption in combination with those things. Again, there's almost no limit to what you can do here. It's just your imagination and how you want to approach these technical events on a footprint chart. So with that, I'll leave you to your own experimentation. Just a reminder, right? All of our products, you get a 7-day trial, so you've got 5 full calendar days, trading days to work with it, regardless of when you request the demo or download the demo. You're always going to have 5 trading days to work with it. So this is a lot of depth here. Let's say it that way. Very well suited to advanced traders, but by no means. Oh, let's go ahead and save this. Get rid of it here. Do I want to discourage you from standard features here? This is advanced users, I guess we could call it that, or people looking to add in some price action into their button selection. Okay, with that, I'll wrap it here, and we'll see you on the next one.